Let's do lesson 8. So, on our bass here, it's a good idea to learn all the notes on the fretboard as quickly as you can. I use what I call the be careful system, to where I just do skip a fret except for when you land on a B or an E. So for example, I'm starting on the G string, and G is not a B or an E, so I'm going to skip a fret. Now I'm on an A. A is not a B or an E, so I'm going to skip a fret. Since I landed on a B, I'll find C on the very next fret. And then I just run that process. I'm going to skip to D, I'm going to skip a fret to E, but when I land on a B or an E, in this case E, I'm going to go to my very next fret for F. And then I'm going to skip a fret for G. And when you do the next string, we're starting on D, I'm going to skip a fret, and I can find E reliably there. I can predict that F will be the very next fret, and then from there I'm just going to skip frets to G, skip to A, skip to B, but be careful, when you land on a B or an E, you're always going to the very next fret. And then that brings me to D. Next string, I've got the A string. I'm going to skip a fret right off the bat to B, and then I'm going to be careful, C. Then I'm going to skip frets, D, E, until I land on a B or an E, in this case E. And I'm going to go to the very next fret for F. Skip to G, skip to A. On the E string, we're going to be careful right off the bat. And we've got F right here on fret 1. Then I'm going to skip a fret to find G. Then I'm going to skip a fret to find A. Skip a fret for B, but be careful. C will be the very next fret. And then you skip a fret for D, and you skip a fret for E. When you do that quickly, you at first talk your way all the way through it. At first I'm saying G, skip to A, skip to B. But as soon as you kind of get that pattern down, you could abandon saying skip to and just say G, A, B. But I do continue saying be careful, because it's very helpful to remind you. C, D, E, be careful, F, G. D, E, be careful, F, G, A, be careful, C, D, A, be careful, C, D, E, be careful, F, G, A, E, be careful, F, G, A, be careful, C, D, E. And you can map out the whole fretboard in probably less than a minute. And if you were to do that when you sat down on the with your bass, that would give you a superpower with your reading and with your applied theory. Even if you didn't want to read music on paper, you just wanted to rock. The quickest way to rocking is just kind of knowing how the theory stuff works. So I hope that's helpful, and let me know how it goes.